You are about to witness history in the making.
Hi guys, there's been a bit of a hiatus, but we're back for the 50th show. So, welcome to Pop Culture Gamers. Let's introduce Hayden as usual first before we go any further.
Hi Steve.
How are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. Well, before I start, I think really Hayden should put his intro in first because our hiatus is with what Hayden's been getting up to. So, how's it all going, pal?
Yeah, it's not going too bad now. Just for those of you who don't follow us on social media, or not part of part of our Facebook group, whatever. The reason why we've had a gap is because I had a bereavement in the family. As you know, a couple of years ago, 22 months ago actually, my father passed away, and I brought my mother here to live with us. Unfortunately, my mother has also passed now as well. So it's been a traumatic few weeks, shall we say, to say the least. So that's why I've not been about, but I lost my mum on the 29th of June. So just trying to get back to normal now.
Yeah, it will take a little while, won't it?
It will, definitely.
So, in the meantime, since all this has been going on, how have you been keeping yourself busy?
Well, I've been doing my favourite sort of therapy, which is retail therapy.
Isn't it just, eh?
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't realise my wife was also kind of taking note about how much she was spending, but never mind, she's not complained. But yeah, I've gone, I haven't gone as silly as I could have done. I did, and I did point this out to my wife.
You've gone a bit crazy, though.
Well, to be fair, I've sort of, the sound might be different to what everybody's used to hearing me, because I'm in a new area of my house now, because I'm actually in what was sort of like my mum's wing of the house, where we renovated it all and whatever. So, I've got a new recording studio, come study, come games room, come whatever. But I've also got a little cinema room as well.
That's right, yeah, because you've got your Dolby Atmos installed now.
Well, yeah, thanks for stealing my thunder there. Yeah, I've got Dolby Atmos. And who was it who was saying about spoilers to me earlier on? Now. Meow. So, yeah, so I've got, I've bought myself a Dolby Atmos, setup, with 9.1 speakers, for a start off, which is absolutely awesome. And also rejigged my computer a little bit, got new monitors, two of which are adaptive sync and one is G-Sync, for those in the PC land who know what that means. And
I have heard of it, but carry on.
Yeah, so it's sort of like 144 megahertz refresh rates, stuff like that. Very nice indeed. Forget about all of this 60 frames a second. It's much better to have it faster. So there's all of that as well. But just basically, set the area I've called it is the den. I did want to call it, my evil lair, but my wife didn't like the sound of that one.
Did you order some freaking lasers for your sharks?
I wanted some lasers with sharks with lasers on the head, but number 2 couldn't get me them.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been all just to keep me occupied and trying not to think about stuff. But also just try and improve, some of the stuff that we've got as well. So, I've got a nice little 2-seater sofa I can sit and watch films on and enjoy at a decent volume, which doesn't upset the neighbours, and more importantly, doesn't upset her indoors.
Yeah.
Because my wife, for somebody whose listed hobbies and professions is talking really is phonophobic.
Well, she sounded right when I spoke to you two in the car the other day.
Yeah, no, but as long as if it's not her making the sound, she doesn't like the sound. So, yeah, and I can honestly say, gaming with Dolby Atmos, oh my god.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I'll talk about a bit more of that in gaming, though.
Yeah. Is that all? Anything else?
Also got into records as well.
Yeah, something you moan at me about now, hey?
Yeah, well, I've, gone straight there as well. To be honest, I'd already been started doing that again.
Yeah, you did mention a while ago that you were looking at, yeah.
And finally found, an old record we'd been talking about a few times in the past.
Yeah, because I've got them digitally anyway, and well, I think it's the same one. I'm not too sure, actually. I'm not sure if it is, because the cover I've got on the digital copy I got is completely different.
Yeah, but it's Power Themes 90, which is Jerry Anderson's
because
the
Power Themes, if I remember rightly, they did release I've got this. Well, I think I still got it, or I've got it digitally now. They released a CD single called "Thunderbirds Are Go."
Yeah,
and I think that's on the same album, isn't it?
Yes,
it is. Yeah. Well, the other one I'm thinking about is slightly different, but yeah, that was a mix they put together in the early 90s. Was it now?
Yeah, I think it was about somewhere about 92, 94 that I bought this in Woolies.
Parker was doing the DJing, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. Yes, my lady.
He wasn't.
So, all of our younger listeners will be going, what on earth are they on about? Thunderbirds, look it up, it's history, it's cult.
Yeah. TV 21 and all that, it's great.
Yeah. But, I mean, I suppose really for me the thing is, although I've been off for 3 weeks, been back to work for a week now, I haven't had much chance for gaming, believe it or not. Which...
Well, no, because you've had other things to occupy yourself. I mean, to be honest, and I'm going to say this now, even though you disagree with me, that gaming has a lean time at the moment. And I think probably come about September, it'll all kick off again. Yes.
Well, it will for you because Destiny's latest expansion will be out.
Yes, I'm not sure when it's out now. Is it about the 4th of September?
I thought it was the 6th.
Yeah, so I won't get a lot of that in maybe, but that'll be to talk about later maybe. Not this show, but another show. But
in a couple of weeks.
Well, September's not a couple of weeks away, is it? Well, but what my thoughts are on something else. Where I might be in September, but apart from that, there's that coming out, and there's a few games that'll be on the old Xbox Netflix version of the Game Store.
Yes,
to come out.
Yeah, there will be.
So I mean there is like there's a Gears 5 tech test that's been on at the moment.
Yes, I haven't had to go on that, to be quite honest. I've downloaded it, but I've just not had the ability to actually play it.
No, and to be honest, I'll tell one thing about you, but this heat has really been hard this week, so I'm on call.
Yeah.
Which I forgot to mention at the top of the show. And I'm not sleeping.
I know that feeling.
What's happening is the wife goes to bed about 10. I stay out, play a bit of Destiny, of course. But after that, the room's quite warm. And I've been sleeping on the settee over the last few days. It's just too warm out in the bedroom as well. So, I mean, we're prepped for a thunderstorm on Tuesday, which I'm not really wanting, to be honest, because I've got a delivery coming on Tuesday.
And what's the delivery?
It's called a lazy spa.
Okay.
Have you heard of these?
Is it a hot tub?
It certainly is a hot tub. So... this was a pure one-off, how do I put it, impulse.
Yeah, that is an expensive impulse buy.
It was 38% off as well, though.
That is still an expensive impulse buy.
And it's arriving Tuesday. We've been gardening all afternoon, clearing the space for it. So watched a load of videos, sussed out how to put it together. There's LED lights that fit in the bottom of it as well.
Do you know, I have to admit... Yeah. When we started talking before we recorded the show, I was, so tired being doing the garden, blah, blah, blah. He laid it all on so much. And I thought, do you know what? I feel sorry for him. I have no sympathy for you at all now.
Oh, and it's as I said, I gave it away to them because I had the tablets arrive the other day for it, for like the chlorine tablets.
Oh, right, okay.
Because you have to maintain it and you use those in there. And you can change water after a few weeks. But I'm looking forward to a good dip after work. If it stays like this, to be honest, it'd be great when it's a little bit winterish because it goes up to 40 degrees C as well.
Yeah.
So you'd be boiling an egg in there.
Good God. Well, you'll have to let us know what it's like, and then we'll come down and try it out sometime.
Yeah. Do you know what? We got a barbecue. We got a barbecue coming on in August, and so that's probably going to be. We're gonna try and fit some screens to hide it, but first. Yeah. And then we can then just pull the screens back because we're going to try and sort of enclose the area at the side of the house. Mm-hmm. Even though no one can see us from the road on the from the end of the garden. But just to enclose it off and have a load of lights on there and stuff and bits and pieces, it'll look pretty cosy. Yeah, but what do they say? What goes on in the hot tub should stay in the hot tub. It will do, won't it? Yeah. Hence the use of the chlorine tablets. Yeah, it's not a time machine though either, unfortunately. Yeah, that's certainly an unusual sort of delivery. It is, isn't it? Anyway, so yeah, I'm sure I'll put some pictures on Twitter or somewhere, and I won't probably do it on Facebook because I want to keep it off of there for the moment due to people turning up and stuff. But, well, I showed you the picture of my new setup today, didn't I? Yeah, in the toilet. Isn't that a bit extreme? Well, no. If anybody wants to know, I'll post it onto the Facebook group. But it was just one of those jokes because everybody always says rate my setup sort of thing. So the next time I see that coming on, I'm going to post that picture. Oh dear. Anyway, so with that garden getting sorted out today, also I just renewed my passport, which for me was pretty quick. Mm-hmm. So I was off last Monday, or was it Friday? So I was I was off Friday to Monday. So I went down the post office Friday. They got a booth there. So you go in the booth, you take your photograph, you take your email address and your phone number. They resubmit it and send it away. It's coming tomorrow. That's good service. Just a bit quick, isn't it? Yep. And when I went to do the Mrs. one, we hit a snag. Because it's still got her old married name on it. Oh, she hadn't changed it. No, because she hadn't needed to, do you know what I mean, at the time. So we've had to get the paper version out, get signatures, photographs, and that. And so I sent that off on Friday of last week, hoping that's going to come back in a week's time. Mm. And all I'm going to say is, and I've got to maybe do a couple of visas for somewhere as well. And that's as much as I'm going to mention because you might be able to hear me. Well, I know where you're talking about anyway. You do, yeah. But, for now, that's all I'm going to say. Anyway, what can we moan about today? Yodel. What a bunch of arseholes. Now... Say it as you mean it, Steve. Don't hold back. Dickheads or what, aren't they? I mean, I have Can you just remember our PG rating on the show? It's just gone. So, I ordered from Mondo Mission Impossible Fallout. They are in Texas, okay? Yep. Out of fun, I thought I'd just Google how far away it is from Mondo's doorstep to mine. Something like 4,800 miles. Yep. It gets into the country. I pay a little bit of tax for it. It goes to Hatfield. It goes to Southampton. And that's where it went missing. Now, I don't know if it's been stolen or what, but all Yodel can do says, we've lost it, we don't know where it is. But they told me that they had it in their hands on the app. And I phoned them up about a day or two after it was expected, gave them the details, and they said, we'll look into it for you. Then suddenly my app come to life saying it's being delivered. And then later in that day, it said it was delivered. I got home, the missus had been home all day, he said, no, we've had no delivery. So why lie to me at first? Why actually complete the app saying it's been delivered when it hasn't? I tell you, I was fuming that day. Absolutely fuming. Now, all I can say is that thanks to Mondo for shipping me a second delivery, and that turned up a couple of days ago. I didn't have to pay tax on it. They said if I did have tax, they would reimburse me.
Yeah.
Which was great. So I have got 3 more to turn up. So I've ordered Blade Runner 2049, which hasn't shipped yet because they were doing the special edition for San Diego Comic-Con at their stand.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's coming out then. I've ordered Alan Silvestri's Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the first time on vinyl. And I've got a Goblin soundtrack, which will be, well, it's not going to be a soundtrack, but Goblin's got a lot of their songs on it with reimagining of the tracks from their movies, which is a 400 pressing in green vinyl. So there's only 400 of those kicking around. So I've ordered that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's from Mondo. Also, there's La La Records. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I've heard of them.
Now, they do more on the CD range, and they do special editions.
Okay.
So, I've ordered a 5 CD special edition of all the Planet of the Apes movies. So we're talking the original 5.
Yeah.
Not the remakes.
Yeah. The good ones.
The good ones, that's it, with Jerry Goldsmith and everything.
Yeah.
So that's one little box set. Another box set, I've got 15 CDs in there. And this is the complete score for all of the episodes of the original Star Trek.
Nice.
Which I think is about 79 episodes, if I remember rightly.
Yes, it is.
Top of my head. So yeah, so there's a 15 CD box set.
Well, they say it's 79 episodes. It's actually
80 with the cage.
Because the cage is a 2-parter.
Yeah, that's right. So there's 15 CDs coming in the box set for that, which I've been looking at that for a couple of years now because it was released originally on the 50th anniversary. So can't wait for that. So a few things to come in the post.
It certainly sounds like it.
And also, I pre-ordered a Blu-ray, which I'll mention. I won't mention the other ones now, but I pre-ordered an Arrow Blu-ray. Not Oliver McQueen again, remember?
Yeah. Oh. You mean the Arrow as in the movie producer?
Producer, yeah.
Yeah.
And in October, they're releasing a special edition of An American Werewolf in London. Now, the original Blu-ray, I don't think it's the best.
It's not a good conversion.
No. But when we talk about them later, Arrow do have 4K restoration versions on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that comes out in October. And it's still available if anyone wants to look on their website. You will see it's there with a few others that are being released in October.
Yeah.
So, that's about it, really. Not a lot going on.
I forgot to mention, I had a couple of records recently, but the most important one for me was Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes, you did, that's right.
Love that soundtrack.
I'm surprised, actually, there's one I've got that my original pressing I'm afraid you won't have yet, which would be Little Shop of Horrors.
I was looking at that and I thought, no, I'll get that later on.
Yeah. And on the musical front, I have picked up a David Bowie album, which I used to have originally as well.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I got original pressing of The Lost Boys.
Cool.
Which is a good soundtrack. As in, it's their artists, not scores.
Yeah.
Including the famous Echo and the Bunnymen as well. But, okay, should we start with gaming this week then?
We shall indeed.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, Hayden, what have you got for gaming? Because I've been sort of a bit lost in the coming weeks.
Well, I think that really the big bit of news is coming from Nintendo, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
And I would just like to say, just to get this out of the way first, despite being ridiculed for it, I called this over 2 years ago, okay? So it was... the proposal is now the new Switch Mini or Lite, whichever what it is that they call it, I can't remember. But basically, it's the Nintendo Switch, which loses the ability to switch. So the Joy-Cons are permanently attached to the side, although you can sync up other Joy-Cons to play the games that require the motion control, and there is no ability to output to a TV. And that was the one thing I can't understand that as a concept. For this as a, I know it's supposed to be a more mobile platform than the already mobile Switch is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, at the bottom of the Switch, the only thing that is there is a USB-C connector, which then outputs the video signal through HDMI. So why switch it off? It's not like it's causing any extra. It makes no sense for it not to be able to plug into an existing dock and just do that. Other than the actual physical size of it is a little bit different. But why you just can't plug it into a TV, that's the only thing that didn't think that they would do, that they've basically done. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is the death throw from Nintendo for its 3DS line. Because the only people Nintendo are in competition with is Nintendo. And let's face it, buying a cheaper, it's going to be $199, so probably about the same in pounds. That's very much competition with the 3DS XL, which I think is about £170, £180. So you've got something that, you can then buy two of and play against each other and whatever. Kids can do that. It's not, it's not even the amount of or just over the amount of a normal Switch. So I think it's an obvious and good move by Nintendo in doing this. Yeah. But I think it's a bad move not leaving in that, TV aspect of it.
It's just a bit crazy. Are they shooting themselves in the foot in one way, do you think?
Well, I think what'll happen is they'll do a firmware update and you'll be able to do it. Or there'll be some workaround. Because I can't imagine that there's actually anything other than the main processor and a graphics card that is changing the signal going through a USB-C that would make it into HDMI.
Yeah. It's very bizarre.
But it was obviously going to come because they rule the, portable market.
Yes.
So why wouldn't they bring a premium quality console to that? Because the 3DS line is kind of looking its age.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good games on there, don't get me wrong. But, you've got the Switch now. It makes the 3DS redundant.
But it sold so well, hasn't it?
It has. But the Switch is now moving into that era. Everything moves on, doesn't it? And they had the little nipple joystick, on the latest iterations of the 3DS range. But it's time for it to be retired now. It's been on the go for a lot of years.
Yeah, I must admit you're right there. But they're going to sell like hotcakes. Second-hand stores, we've got loads in there.
Yeah.
People are always buying them.
Yeah.
So Nintendo will rule the roost in their own way, I think.
Yeah, it's a market that they have cornered.
Yeah.
And even Sony hasn't been able to compete.
No, I don't think so. And they never will again, to be honest.
I can't see Sony bringing out another handheld. I think if anything, Microsoft would be the one more likely to do it now.
Yeah. I mean, there's been people asking Sony to bring out another Vita, but I don't think it'll ever happen.
No, I don't. I think it's...
and the idea of an Xbox version of something like that was... Yeah, no, it won't happen. I can't see it, to be honest.
I mean, nowadays, technology's moved on sufficiently. I can't see why they can't shrink down an Xbox 360 into a Vita sort of size.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, with all this new cloud stuff that's been talked about, and the idea of having your own servers on your Xbox to play on mobile phones and stuff like that, they probably got it sewn up that way, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
But that's not being released till October.
No.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to work. be able to play Destiny on the go.
Well, I'm just wanting them to be able to do it so you can export your Destiny characters to other platforms.
Well, yeah, that's another thing with Bungie. But the idea of what we can do with the Xbox is have any of your games on the Xbox played via one of your mobile phones. You know.
Yeah.
And apparently, from what I've seen on videos, the Halo demo looked pretty good and worked well.
Yes.
So we'll have to wait and see for that.
We will indeed.
Okay, so new releases. Do you want to start with that for us?
Yep, so not many. There's only 3. So there's Ashes of God's Redemption on the PS4, Xbox One, Switch and PC, and that's out on the 30th. We've got Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden on the PS4, Xbox One and Switch, again on the 30th. And then, for those of you who like your American football, football, Madden NFL 20, PS4, Xbox One and PC on the 2nd.
So that's how quiet it is at the minute, really, isn't it?
It does all start to accelerate after this time, though.
It will do. Okay, so the video game chart. So at 5, we've got Red Redemption 2. At 4, we've got Forza Horizon 4. At 3, we've got Spider-Man. 2 is Days Gone. And FIFA 19 is number 1. No change there.
No, not really. But Spider-Man's a hell of a good game. You were saying there was not much to play. Why haven't you finished that?
Actually, I haven't turned my when did I turn my PlayStation on? Oh, to accept a friend's request. That was the last thing I did.
Yeah. You know you can do that through the app. Just
yeah, I know. I did, yeah. But I was just double-checking something because there was just...
What? That it worked?
Yeah. To be honest. It was via Twitter. Then, no, mate, we'll do this and see how... Then it didn't work and something else happened, but...
I have to admit, most of my playing recently has been on PlayStation.
Yeah, possibly.
It has, definitely. Not PC, not Xbox, but the actual PlayStation 4. And that surprised me quite a bit as well, to be honest.
Yeah, because mind you, I've seen you pop up on the Xbox, but that's been on the PC probably.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've been, because I've loaded up the Xbox app.
Yeah. So, have you been trying any games for the Xbox on the PC at all yet?
What do you mean on the Game Pass Ultimate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing, I forgot what it's called. I started Metro Exodus, which was working quite well. And what was the other one? Trying to think. No, it's gone. It's I've actually got it on Steam anyway, so it's a bit... That's quite loud.
They're coming to get me.
Yeah. Surviving Mars, that's it.
Is that the building one?
Yeah, the SimCity alien one. And I also tried, not on Game Pass, but on Steam, 911 Operator, which you've played before as well.
Yes, I had a bit of fun with that. That was really weird. Especially when it's your own hometown that you're playing in.
Mine wasn't.
Oh, wasn't it?
No, but I was playing it on PC.
Yeah. Yeah, but you still can do your hometown, can't you?
Maybe when you're not in the tutorial, I just went through that.
Yeah, so I got Christchurch and I was saving people's lives around town. Very
good.
Yeah, so...
It does get quite frantic.
It does, I must admit. Yeah, I did. But it was a good bit of fun, and I showed some people. I said, look at this sort of game. It was cheap anyway at the time.
Yeah, novel idea.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Anyway, Games for Gold, PlayStation Plus. I don't think I can even remember the last ones from last month, to be honest.
No, I can't. Limbo, Inside was one of the Xbox ones, and I think Detroit Most Human.
Possibly was, but we'll say it'll all change in a few days' time, actually.
Yes, but we won't find out the PS Plus games till the 31st at 4:30, which is the scheduled release time for that. Yeah. And then it's available from the 6th or something like that. Okay, well, that'll be for next weekend. Yeah. Okay, so we'll move straight into gaming. Yep. And, well, I've been playing really is Destiny at the moment. Quelle surprise.
Absolutely. But I have had a blast. And obviously we had the Season of Opulence at the moment. That's the local season. We're in our second Iron Banner week.
Yep.
Which is at the moment. And completed all the quests for the armour, because now you can do a quest line. Once you get each part of the quest, depending on what you've got, your boots or your chest armour, then they become drops within there, and then they will be random rolls. So I completed that. Also completed another Valor rank and restarted my... I'm sorry I got to have the window open because it's so hot in here, so unfortunately I have to put up with the noise. So with Iron Banner, I completed that. Did a prestige on that as well over the last couple of days. Ironically, I have pre-ordered Shadowkeep already.
Yep.
And the special edition.
I wouldn't have expected anything else.
Well, do you know what? It's looking pretty cool from what I'm seeing so far. There's going to be a lot of changes to deal with. And can't wait, really. Can't wait.
To be fair, I would have said exactly the same. From what I've seen of it, it does look really good. I'm looking forward to diving back into it.
Yeah. There's a new trailer just been released showing a bit more about it.
Yeah.
And there's a little Vibe doc that came out talking more about the armor and the way that's going to work, because you're going to be able to use the armor and retweak it all to suit yourself.
Cool.
And what it's going to be worth doing, which I'll give Prudy the heads up for this because he did remind me about it, is you need to start taking your ships and your ghosts, for example, which you can rebuy in the collections.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to just dismantle everything because you're going to get loads of dust for that. So it's worth doing. I've just dismantled a shed load. It's got my vault down a little bit more. So when you're next on there, maybe just go through your vault and see what you got.
Well, to be quite honest, unless it's exotic or legendary, I don't keep it anyway.
No, well, I've dismantled all my exotics as well, because you can just, all the ghosts, you can just buy them back anyway.
Do you get shards as well, or do you just get the dust?
Some of the stuff I was doing. I also do all your shaders as well.
Oh, I always get rid of shaders because I can't be bothered with that.
So that's worth doing. Also, me and Prudy have been on Thursday nights, and I went back to the Forge.
Yeah. Because
I was after the exotic Jotun, which was the bane of my life in Crucible.
Yeah.
So finally I picked that up. I also picked up the last piece of armour I needed for a complete set, which looks pretty cool as well. But the Jotun is just a wicked weapon, and it just works brilliantly in Crucible.
Mm.
And I've been loving it. And as I say, gone back into it over the last couple of days. They do have ×3 on Valor as well at the moment for the weekend. So if any of you want to boost your Crucible levels, now's the time to do it.
Yep.
And yeah, it's all looking good.
Cool.
How about yourself? What have you been up to?
Well, most of my gaming has been through my version of Destiny, which is Assassin's Creed. So I've been playing Origins on the PS4 and completed the main storyline, which must have taken about 100 hours. I really do wish PlayStation would actually give you a timer. It would be nice to know how long I've spent on something.
Yeah. Well, maybe that might come one day.
One day. Basic thing from the Xbox side, but too advanced for PlayStation, obviously, at the moment. So I've been playing that on the PS4 and also been playing the DLC for both Origins and Odyssey as well.
Okay.
And I have to admit, I've really enjoyed the Origins DLC and also their events, because in terms of, the events, you're taking on, massive Egyptian creatures and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just such a good and enjoyable game to play. They both play similar enough that you can see the changes from one to the other, but far enough apart so that you don't directly, consider one to be inferior because of the changes. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can sometimes get that, can't you? If they change up the control mechanisms a great deal and improve it a lot. But each one plays for the sort of mission styles that they've got. And there is now this ability to also edit your own missions as well on one of them.
Oh, okay.
Which is, effectively means you can have the game running as long as you want, keep on creating your own missions.
Yeah.
I've not actually gone into the editor. To be honest, I don't think I probably ever will.
Have you tried the learning? They got is it like a...
On Origins, yeah, where you get the guided tour of Egypt. No, yeah. I haven't tried that yet.
So that might be interesting to have a look at.
Yeah, I want to have a look at that, but I haven't tried it as of yet. But like I said, my time's been limited in terms of what I can play. Like I said before, I've also played 911 Operator, which was an enjoyable sort of departure from your normal kind of game. I didn't play it using my local area, but I do like the way that it keeps giving you these different calls and incidents, some of which you respond to, some of which you don't.
I responded to every one, actually. I think, remember rightly.
You're not able to. And some of them, it's like people phoning up and saying really stupid, daft things and saying, well, I'm not sending an ambulance round to go to the doctors in the morning.
Oh, no, yeah, there'd be some, you'd probably give them advice on a pan fire.
Yeah.
For example, or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So, been quite enjoying that. What else have I played? I've also played A Plague's Tale: Innocence. I've only just started this one. So it's basically set in 1348, and you play Amicia, who's a young girl of noble descent who lives in Anquetin, which has just been invaded by the English army. Your younger brother Hugo has been ill all of his life, and your mother Beatrice, an alchemist who's been looking after Hugo away from the rest of the family. And anyway, your castle gets overrun while hunting with your father in the forest, and during that hunting you suddenly notice that there's this blight that is starting to kill things on the land. And anyway, the story starts to go down an increasingly darker path. And when your castle gets invaded, which is right at the start, it's not a spoiler, that's when you have to start looking after your younger brother who doesn't really know you. Yeah. And you have to give him instructions or hold his hand through bits and that kind of thing. Which makes it an interesting sort of narrative. There's a lot to do with rats that are passing about this plague as well, and they're feared. They fear the light and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of an overture of remember that Alan Wake sort of thing of running from one dark spot to another.
Yes, when you're trying to stay under the lights on the poles to keep safe, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'd also, just going on the sideline, I'd heard that the guy who created Alan Wake was interested in doing a sequel.
Yes, I heard exactly the same thing the other week. I saw something on Twitter being mentioned about it.
I so hope that they do, because that was a brilliant game. It's one of my favourite games.
It's funny because obviously that had issues with the rights because of the music.
Yeah.
But I think it did come back to pick hold of it and to pick it up.
Yeah, you can.
If you haven't, I would thoroughly recommend. It's one of my favourites. I played right through to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the best games. And actually, American Nightmare, they're sort of sequel, but not.
No, but there was some good DLC. There was some good DLC that I played as well.
Yes, it's a brilliant game. One of my favourites. And I like the fact that they did that TV series that went with it as well. Do you remember? They shot a series to go with it that you watched. Yeah,
was that in between?
I think so. I can't remember now. It's
very similar to another game that didn't do so well that I'm thinking of at the minute.
Quantum Break.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Plague and Innocence Tale. So it's a nice looking third person sort of action adventure and horror game. Controlling mechanism, plays well. With instructing your younger brother to do stuff's quite easy. stealth's a really important aspect of the game. So if you want to, sneak around areas where there's guards and stuff like that, it's important that you're able to stealthily, sneak about, because you can't really defend yourself. So if you like that sort of stealthy action adventure horror game, it's well worth a look, and it's one of those ones. It's been out a few weeks now, so it's not as expensive as it was either.
Okay, anything else you want to talk about there for that game?
No, I think that's about it, really.
Cool. All right, so let's move swiftly on then to movies, TV, and streaming.
In quest of a better life,
okay, so the big news, or say not really big news, as my wife walks past me at the window and looks at me like I've done something terribly wrong. We had San Diego Comic-Con happen.
Yes, I didn't get much of this, to be honest.
Okay. One of the things I want to bring up first of all was the Top Gun Maverick trailer.
I have seen bits of that. It does look quite cool.
Now, apparently what had happened is when Hall H, I think, was about to come to a close, apparently, and people were starting to sort of think about leaving, and they said, we got one more thing to do with here, mentioned. And Tom Cruise comes and walks out on the stage.
Cool.
Which imagine must have been pretty awesome, to be honest. And then suddenly showed the trailer, and it's wicked. I mean, you hear that Harold Faltermeyer music from the first film.
Yeah.
And oh boy, I mean, probably there's some younger people here that may listen to this show, might not know Top Gun or know of it, but I'm so pumped up for that.
Yeah, the main character this time is not Tom Cruise, is it? He's actually a female pilot, so you understand?
Well, I think I can work. Obviously, this time it's probably Maverick's probably going to be the trainer as such. So he'd be in charge, maybe. But well, who knows? We'll see. I mean, whether or not any love interest in with this character, maybe, I don't know.
Well, probably. Poor old Kelly McGillis, she'll be looking a bit aged now for Tom,
she'd be pushed to one side, wouldn't she? And he looked pretty cool on his bike with his bomber jacket on there as well.
I mean, to be quite honest, if you ever wanted to see the male embodiment of Peter Pan, just have a look at Tom Cruise.
He does look pretty well for himself, even though he's kicking 50 odd, whatever it is now.
Yeah, he's older than I am.
Yeah, but yeah, no, he's got. I mean, he's doing 2 more Mission Impossibles at the moment as well, back to back. So he's a busy man.
Yeah.
So the other news,
your mission, Jim, should you be able to get up out of the chair?
Yeah, that's what I'm like in the mornings. I can tell you that. Oh boy, is it like that? So the other great news was really there was lots of Star Trek news.
Yes.
And
even though you were very grumpy about the fact that I didn't put it in the notes because I knew that you would. But
yeah, no. So we had quite a few bits of reveals. We had in Hall H again. We had Picard and the rest of the cast chatting about that.
Yeah.
And they showed us the trailer first of all, which I look pretty cool. I mean, this is now going to be set 20 years after Nemesis.
Well, it is 20 years after Nemesis.
Exactly. So they've done it right this time. And obviously Picard's been out there in his chateau, chilling out for a few years.
Yeah.
And comes across this girl that needs his help. And I feel this is all very much going to be Borg related from the trailer.
Yes.
So I think it looks like he's going to put a crew together. And what was pretty cool was that just before the very end, you heard a woman's voice, and then Jerry Ryan walked on, 7 of 9.
Yeah.
And as the trailer finished, he was playing cards, and there was Brent Spiner. Now, I know it's probably going to be a yes and no, but it is Data, and it probably isn't going to be Data because Data died in Nemesis.
Yes, because he died before.
So, but then he probably uploaded all of Data's stuff, so who knows how that will play out.
Just completely ignore that. pun that was in there.
Yeah, I am going to. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That should be a cool show. Obviously, this is going to be on Amazon Prime.
It is.
So we'll have Star Trek Discovery still sitting on Netflix, which, by the way, has just gone up by £2, if anyone hasn't noticed.
Oh, I noticed.
Because it suddenly, just backtracking or I put it on, it said, are you accepting the £2 upgrade? Or, and then you go, yes, and you can carry on.
So how much do you pay? Is it $8.99?
$11.99.
Oh, I'm paying $8.99.
Mm.
But are you getting the 4K?
Yes.
See, I'm not, because I got mine originally through iTunes, and I've just kept it at that.
Yeah. I mean, it's another £2, isn't it? I mean, we know streaming's the way everything's going at the moment. We're going to have the Disney Channel at some point, which is going to take all the Marvel stuff away and everything else. So we all might end up having to pay for that.
Mm.
But yeah, it's the way it is. So,
and actually, it's 16 and a half years since Nemesis.
Don't be facetious. It says 20 years, so that'll do.
It's 3rd of January 2003 it was released.
Yeah,
so in our timeline...
You're just being awkward now.
No, I said in our timeline.
Yeah.
I don't mean in the film. I mean since the film was shot.
Yeah, that's right. But they're using it as 20 years.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I wasn't meaning in their storyline.
No.
I was meaning in our actual real-life timeline. The film is 16 years ago.
Yeah. But it's not the film I like to shout about anyway.
No, because if you ever want to finish a Star Trek film franchise on a low...
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had my beef on that on Twitter, which went down quite well, actually. Anyway, also we have a new animated series coming out in 2020 called Star Trek Lower Decks.
Yeah.
That should be quite interesting. Obviously, we'll have a new season for Star Trek Discovery with 6 shorts. I didn't see the original shorts that came out, actually.
They're on Netflix.
Are they on there now, are they?
Yeah, if you've got season 1, have a look.
Okay.
At the end. Have you actually finished watching all of the episodes now?
That was donkeys ago, mate. What are you on about?
Well, the last time that we spoke, you were complaining about Anton Mount with his time crystals.
No, I'd finished it now. I'd finished it.
Right, yeah, but don't forget we haven't done a show in over a month.
It's a lot, yeah, probably. And we'll get onto other things I finish as well.
Okay.
So Star Trek Discovery, they had their panel, and what was asked during the panel to ask the audience was, would you like to see Pike and Spock in their own TV show? And
everybody responded, is the Pope Catholic?
Yes. So watch your space, basically.
They're obviously going to do that.
Can I say this now? And I've said it to someone else and we agreed. Now, Star Trek Discovery's been okay? But I'm sorry, Star Trek is now back with Picard, properly, in my opinion. I know it might not be yours, but I think we have got Star Trek back properly.
Yeah, I'm the original timeline, not any of these A, B, C's or bloody D's.
I mean, obviously... We've heard, and Marina Sirtis kept it quiet for about a year because she's known. Obviously, she'll be coming back with Jonathan Frakes in some shape or form. Do
you know what? I come out with these quips of quotes, which are just Star Trek gold, and you ignore them.
Sorry. It's my I'm hosting. I can ignore what I want.
I know. And as I'm just being in that sort of mood today, I can actually stir it up.
Anyhow, so I think I'm really glad that we're going to get Picard. We are going to get it's going to be like a continuation of Next Generation to a certain degree.
I think it is. It's going to be Star Trek the Next Generation.
Yeah, something like that.
Effectively speaking.
And
that's not a bad thing.
Not at all. And we'll just brush over this quietly that Quentin Tarantino, I'm really looking forward to his latest movie.
Yeah, as long as it's not the Star Trek one.
Yeah, but obviously we're going to have to contend with that at some point. Maybe we don't know. We know it's not 100%.
It's not confirmed yet.
It's not in the can, but
let's just hope it just goes and dies a death.
Yeah, it's difficult. I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it.
I'll probably end up seeing it and thinking it's absolutely brilliant because I was very worried about Discovery and I absolutely love the show. I think I think that the first season was the best.
It has its flaws, though.
Yeah, it does. But to be fair to the show, the flaws that it's mainly got are not of its own creation. They are creation of licenses.
Well,
because it's the consistency in terms of uniforms and also the level of visual technology.
Yeah, what they've done is they've seemed to have blended in the uniforms as they would progress in that timeline anyway.
Yeah, but that's also because they're getting the licensing agreement sorted out as well.
But the way that the show looks, that's a very difficult one to call anyway. And I've always thought that it's, as much as when you're watching Star Trek in the 60s, you're not going to see that sort of level of look in the 2000s, are you?
No. And to be quite honest, in 20 years' time, they'll do, like Star Trek Discovery's sister ship, the one that isn't blown up, in the same timeline probably, or something like that. And it'll have a much more modern contemporary look than this one does, because the way that what we think of looks futuristic has changed.
And what's really good about Picard is that from what we've seen on the trailer, we can see those uniforms are still there.
Mm.
And because we had that technology the way we did with Next Gen, that can progress and flow pretty well forward for 20 years.
Yeah.
Because you can go forward great in any shape or form you want, but you can't go back and sit in a timeline that's already been seen and done with the technology that we have now.
No, and I think, to be quite honest, I think this comes under the tagline of just get over it. Because it's a visual upgrade of the original series. There were licensing issues, which meant that it had to be something like 20% different to the original series.
Mm.
And it had to be more coinciding with the, Kelvin timeline in terms of look, because it wasn't Paramount.
Yeah.
And that's why it looks different. And plus the fact, if we'd have had a show that had had all of, the Enterprise or whatever looking like the 1960s version, I think there'd have been questions, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it's a matter of all of these things, they're a bit inconsequential. What they did with Klingons was a little bit too far, but by bringing them back with hair, they actually look more like Klingons now. In season 2, the Klingons look more like Klingons than they did.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, because in season 1, they looked like a completely different race. But
yeah.
They were bald.
Yeah, we shall see. I'm just really glad we're going to get some proper Star Trek now. That's really made that Sunday when it came out on Twitter, that really made my weekend for me, to be honest.
I have to admit, one of the characters who's going to be in there as well is someone who I've only really just kind of noticed as an actor, but that's San Diego Cabrera, and he's on the TV series Salvation, and in season he's what part does he play? He plays Darius Tanz, who's like a sort of Steve Jobs sort of futuristic, multi-billionaire kind of person who's in charge of Tanza Industries. It's a great series. It's about an asteroid coming to Earth that's going to, be a, extinction level event. And he's part of a group of people trying to stop it. But there's actions are being mistaken by the Russians, thinking that it's actually America trying to, bomb Russia, and there's a hacking group that are trying to thwart things from happening, saying it's all government conspiracies and stuff like that. It's a really good show if you've never seen it, well worth a watch on Netflix. But he plays a good part as Darius in there, so I'm quite looking to see what role he plays in Picard.
Yeah, we've got some names on the internet, maybe with a database, but we don't, it's not going to...
Doesn't mean anything until we actually know who they are.
No, it doesn't.
We need some context.
So, anyway, should we move on to the last bit, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4, Part 1? I think it's going to be called.
Phase 4, but it's going to be Phase 5 after that.
No, but I think Phase 4, this isn't all of Phase 4, because there are other stuff they've not mentioned.
Yeah, it is. This is all of what they've mentioned so far of Phase 4.
But there's more of Phase 4 to come still, apparently.
So, apparently, but whether or not it comes or it goes into Phase 5, because I've heard rumours that some of it's going to go into Phase 5.
Because what Blade is going to be a part of Phase 4.
Last I heard, that was looking at Phase 5.
But who knows?
Who knows? But anyway, so the films that we've got under Marvel Phase 4 are the Black Widow movie. That's scheduled for next year. The Eternals, which again is 2020. Then we've got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings in 2021, together with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is obviously
one of a horror movie, isn't it?
Evidently, but it's basically bringing in, the multiverse, which what's happened with the Thanos sort of storyline, and that's where that comes in, because that brought in the multiverse sort of outside of it. And then interestingly, Thor: Love and Thunder, which is going to have a female Thor.
And we know who that is, don't we?
Yes, it's Natalie Portman. Because, and it's wielding Thor's hammer, which is interesting because, if it goes by this comic storyline, and as we know, Thor's hammer was destroyed by by Thor's sister, in, the, third Thor movie, Ragnarok. But, basically, Thor is seen as not being, worthy anymore. And so this is where Jane Foster comes in as Thor. Is a female version of Thor. She is given that kind of mantle. Now, that happens, or she first wields Thor's hammer in a comic strip, which is What If. Now, What If is also scheduled for 2021 as a TV series.
Oh, I thought that was going to be a movie. I'm not too sure about that.
No, it's a TV.
I know, because obviously we've got the Loki TV series.
We have, which has the most god-awful graphics. Be interested to find out what those graphics actually mean, but I don't like the way they've done the title. But first off, we've got, in 2020, we've got The Falcon and Winter Soldier. 2021, WandaVision, which is the Scarlet Witch and Vision. Then Loki in 2021, and What If in 2021, and also Hawkeye, the TV series in 2021, which I've heard rumours that's going to be actually Hawkeye's daughter, who's going to take up the mantle of Hawkeye.
Yeah, I know. This is not all clear cut for me where Marvel was for the last phase and how that was all going to go with all the big characters.
But we've come to a watershed. Spider-Man Far From Home is the last of the Phase 3.
Yeah.
And he's opening the doors to Phase 4 now. So all of this, we don't know where we stand. Are we ever going to get another Avengers movie? Because Black Widow's dead. Iron Man's dead.
Well, all I could say is What If is where I can see that could be going.
Yeah, but that's a TV series, and that's not what not what it's aimed at. And there's talk about we might see Scarlett Johansson back after the Black Widow movie anyway, and there's hints that what that's going to move on is looking at the Dark Avengers. So there's all sorts of speculation.
Do you think Marvel's now going to be I think Doctor Strange and Thor really, and probably maybe WandaVision and the Falcon Winter Soldier will be the bigger titles.
Well, WandaVision's a TV series, so I don't think that's going to be a bigger title than Winter Soldier. So, in terms of the movies, I think the big movies are Black Widow, Doctor Strange, and Thor. I think that they're the three biggest
and
movies.
the Falcon and Winter Soldier as well.
That's TV series.
Oh, sorry, of course, yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking. But Is Marvel going to have gone to their have they gone to the top now? Are they going to start to maybe not stay there as hard? Are they going to carry on?
I know. I'll tell you what I think. I think of this as a roller coaster. Yeah, we've had the long climb up to get to the end game, which was the sudden drop. Yeah, we've now gone down a sudden drop, and Spider-Man has started to edge us up, going back up the next hill, where we're building up to that momentous climax. And I think that's where we are. We're right at the bottom of that, that wave, as it were, now. And we need to get back up to the crescent. And all of this needs to come through. I mean, I don't know much about Shang-Chi. It's not something that I've ever really known that much about. I was always much more interested in Doctor Strange and, Thor to a lesser extent, and Iron Man. And obviously, most importantly, was always Spider-Man, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
But we're supposed to be getting Fantastic Four this phase, but there are rumours that might move to Phase 5, as with, evidently,
Blade.
the Silver Surfer as well.
And Blade, obviously.
Yeah. So it's a bit, it's these are the ones that they're confirming, but we've had lists like this before where stuff has been confirmed and then it never happened.
And it changes. Well, that's why I'm saying, because there is another event. And there's another event, I can't think what it's called now, which would be Marvel related.
Yeah.
Which may well either spin it and change it, or there will be some added to it, maybe.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting times.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what the next couple of years actually has in store. I'm looking forward to the next Doctor Strange. And there's rumours as well that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 might get into Phase 4.
Maybe,
because that's not in that list either.
No. That's true.
And then we'll be able to see what Adam's going to be like. Because that's who's in that.
It's funny
thing.
how there's someone else that's just been dropped completely as Ant-Man, isn't it?
No, because there's evidently going to be another Ant-Man movie as well, but that might be Phase 5.
Yeah, it's.
And let's face it, Paul Rudd, he's the other Peter Pan in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because he's older than I am, and he looks younger than me. And he looks, in matter of fact, he looks more or less the same age as when he was on Friends in the late 90s. Makes you sick, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know. It's very, it's very, very difficult. Okay, so do you want to do cinema releases for us? Okay,
one that I really want to see is because I've never been interested in this franchise. I've never watched any of the franchise, but that's Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes, I saw that again, the trailer again in the cinema the other day. And it does look fun.
It does. It's got that The Rock humour, because I love that guy. I think he's brilliant. But also the Jason Statham approach as well. Just them two playing off of each other. I think that would be really good. Next, so that's out on the 1st. On the 2nd of August, we have Angry Birds, the movie 2.
Okay, we can quickly move on.
Yeah, and then the 3rd is Transit.
Okay, cool. So,
I'm not sure what that one's about, but I'm sure it's not about a Ford.
No, I'm sure we'll find out eventually.
Yeah.
So, Blu-ray DVD releases for the 29th of July. As a quick browse through, we've got the Chernobyl series that was on Sky.
Yeah.
Which I got to watch the last episode yet. I've not done that.
That is a brilliant series.
It has. I mean to go back to that. I think other stuff I've been getting into watching again. Blast Off, Blu-ray DVD.
Good film.
Yeah. Then we got Gotham Season 5 and Gotham Season 1 to 5, Blu-ray DVD.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's people that have bought it in sections so they can buy it just once.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Costner's Westworld, 4K Blu-ray.
Waterworld,
sorry. What did I say? Westworld, sorry.
Yeah, Westworld's entirely different. And it wasn't Kevin Costner, ever.
Definitely not. I would like to add to this list some better movies. So we've got Don't Look Now on 4K Blu-ray DVD, which is well worth a watch if you've not seen it. And that's with Donald Sutherland. And what else have we got there? Let's have a little see. I'm trying to see what more we got in there. The House that Dripped Blood, is that the original or is it a remake? I'm not too sure. And we do have Us as well, 4K Blu-ray. don't know too much about that movie. I've heard good things about it. So anyway, Hayden Cinema Charts.
So at number 5 we have Annabelle Comes Home. At number 4 we have Yesterday, which actually does look really cool.
Yeah.
Number 3, Spider-Man Far From Home. Number 2, Toy Story 4 in 3D version. And at number 1, we have The Lion King.
Yeah, which is exactly the same as the cartoon version.
Yeah.
That Toy Story 4, though, that surely is both together, the 3D and the 2D version, surely.
Evidently not. It just says 3D, so...
Or was that plus 3D, though?
No, it just says it. Toy Story 4, bracket 4D.
Whatever. Okay.
3D, rather. So,
all right, Blu-ray DVD chart. So
now this is a really unusual Blu-ray DVD chart. Have you noticed?
Yeah. Now, before we start this, I'd like to say congratulations to the Avengers for overtaking Avatar as the highest-grossing movie of all time,
which we knew they would do.
But I would like to see Avatar get re-released before the sequel comes out to try and nick it back. Because that would be interesting.
Yeah.
And obviously the Avengers is being released with another, is it 30 seconds or something stupid?
No, there was about 16 minutes of extra footage in it.
Was it? Oh, okay, well, we'll wait for the Blu-ray to come out.
So they made the 3-hour plus movie even longer.
Yeah. So, ironically, up from 9 to 5, we've got Avengers Infinity War. Down from 2 to 4, we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp. Up from 7 to 3, we've got Spider-Man Homecoming. Up from 4 to 2, we have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And in at 1, we have Captain Marvel, which isn't a bad movie, actually.
It's not. I watched it the other night with my friend as well.
Oh, should we say, with your friend?
Yes. Yes, my mate John, he came round, see how I was doing, and we ended up going to the pub and then coming back and watching Captain Marvel, so it was a good night.
What did you think of it?
He loved it.
Mm.
But he likes, superhero movies anyway, same as I do. But
yeah.
I've never seen the charts with...
It's a Marvel chart.
Well, it is. It's just Marvel. There is nothing else in there.
Thinking about what's to come out at the moment, off the top of my head, there isn't a lot more.
No, be added to by Endgame.
Well, that comes out, is it in August?
Yeah, a couple of weeks. 16th or something, isn't it?
Mm. Will that be the extended version as well?
I would have thought.
You think they wouldn't be sly and then put that version out a bit later, though, would they?
Oh, I bet that they would if they thought they could sell it.
Because then people will buy it twice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that looks pretty good. So, yeah, all good there.
Well done to Marvel Studios for doing that.
Yeah, and even, James Cameron even took a bow to that as well.
Yeah.
So, it's all good and love and war in the movie industry.
Mm.
Okay, if we move on to what we've been watching, where to start? So, yeah, let's start with Arrow. And we'll start with Arrow, the TV show, first of all. And I got to the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed the way it's finished, and with the Monitor coming back again to whisk him away, for which will be his final swan song in season 8. And interesting how this is all going to turn out, because we're going to get some old characters
just as I thought, wouldn't it have been better to have said spoiler warning before that?
Well, it's too late now, isn't it? Come on, most people we know that see Arrow have probably watched it.
I know, but for those of us who have maybe not seen it, we're going to get round to it.
But as I say, all I've said is the Monitor comes back, and if you're a bit behind, you've got a lot long to go, because season 8 comes back in October. San Diego Comic-Con gave us some trailers, which look pretty cool. Obviously, we've got one more Arrowverse link with the Flash and Superman, that's to come. And ironically, Arrow season 8 is going to be a short season.
About 10 episodes or something, isn't it?
10 or 8 episodes, yeah. Now, maybe it's all to do with... I'm not sure how long the Arrowverse link with the other shows is going to be. Whether that's going to be 1 or 2, maybe, I don't know. But it's going to be sad to see it go, to be honest.
Mm.
But we're going to have some returning characters of old, maybe, by the sounds of it. and listening to Steve Arnell chat about just wrapping up the first episode at the moment. I'm really looking forward to that. And actually, what was really good? Have you seen the trailer for the Flash season?
I haven't seen any of the trailers for the DC universe.
Oh, you got to watch that. There's a guy. There's a guy's voice doing the narration for the Flash trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you watch it first, and you can tell what you think. But I recognised the voice straight away, and I thought, oh, this would be interesting.
I'll do my homework for next week.
Yeah, have a look at that. That was pretty cool. Also, what have I done? I've subscribed to Shudder now on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And Shudder is a subscription service for horror movies. A few Arrow ones are in there, actually, as in Arrow, the company that brings out the videos. And what's more importantly is that we have got Creep Show, the TV show, starting, I think it's either late 2019 or early 2020. So if you want to watch that, you'd have to subscribe to Shudder. At the moment, they were doing quite a good deal where you were going to get like 2 months for $2.99 each or something like that. And then back up to the $4.99 or a $5 or what it costs normally a month. But it's a good channel to have if you're a fan of horror movies. But not for you, Hayden, eh?
Well, it's not my favourite genre, but it doesn't mean I might not be interested. And you can get a 7-day free trial.
You can, yeah, that's exactly that as well. There's a lot of stuff on there. There's some great stuff there from old and from Argento and George A. Romero. There's a great load of documentaries on there as well, especially the ones to do with Hellraiser, which is pretty cool. And there's a documentary of George A. Romero going back to the zombies, Dawn of the Dead and that, and Night of the Living Dead. So I'm definitely going to get a chance to watch that.
Just as a thought, you know that you can subscribe to Shudder directly for $3.99 a month, rather than $4.99, which is through Amazon Prime.
I don't know, actually. How'd you do that then?
Go to shudder.com.
Oh, okay. Well, then what I might do is I might wait for the 2 months to finish, cheap, and see if I can do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how that works, though, for the app, though, because I watch it through Amazon Prime.
Ah, right, okay. Well, so, it's if you buy it for the year, so it's $47.88 for the year.
Yeah. And
you get it for $3.99 a month equivalent cost.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you, but you know, it's via the app anyway, so I'm not too fussed, to be honest, over that equivalent that. So, movie-wise, my Arrow collection has got bigger. Very big. So, just of late, I picked up probably about 6 or 7 more Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
So what have we got? So because I can't remember what we last talked about, so what I've got now is, in a brief way, I've got Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
Which is the remake with Donald Sutherland.
That's a good version, actually.
It is, and Leonard Nimoy's in that as well, remember?
Yeah, he is.
And I've got some Argento movies. I've got Deep Red and Demon, Cat of Nine Tails, obviously Big Trouble in Little China, The Thing, Videodrome from David Cronenberg, Weird Science, which is one of the latest releases. And also I picked up Phantasm, Tenebrae, which is another Argento, which is really one of my favourites alongside Suspiria. And Blowout with John Travolta. Have you seen that one?
I've heard of it. Don't think I've seen it, but I have seen Phantasm. I used to enjoy that. Yeah.
So yeah, I've got quite a few movies to enjoy, and I'd say they've got a stack of extras on them. Mm. I did watch this afternoon on The Thing. There's a new documentary on there saying who's called Who Goes There, which goes back to the start of Howard Hawks' version of The Thing, and then bringing in John Carpenter's version.
Yeah.
So that was well worth a watch. Also, I picked up Zombie Holocaust and Cat in the Brain, which is Cat in the Brain's a Felucci movie, which is another Italian horror director.
Mm-hmm.
And Zombie Holocaust, I remember that of old, so I picked that one up as well. So, yeah. Also, I forgot, I picked up 4 HMV because it was buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
So I picked up them, Forbidden Planet, Logan's Run, and Jason of the Argonauts. even though I've watched it a billion times, and it's going to be a bit more for my researching with Wrong Reel later on in the next month. But there's some grand titles there as well in that collection.
Yep, got all of those ones already.
Yeah, and it's
Great
funny.
Movies.
It's funny because did you get the email from UV?
No.
Saying hello?
Oh yes, yeah. Well, it's gone. I'm going on the 31st.
Yeah, so I've just picked these up, but they got a UV code, which won't be useful then, will it?
Yeah, it will, because what you do is you link your account to something else, and eventually they're all going to go over to Google anyway.
I'll try them later one night. I've got the codes in the boxes.
I would do it tonight while you still can.
I'll have a look. So, really, for me, Them is one of my favourite B movies from the 50s, which is the one with the giant ants.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Forbidden Planet, I don't need to say much about that, really, or Logan's Run, which has been playing on while we've been doing the podcast. And Harryhausen with Jason the Argonaut, which is probably one of his best movies, even though I did pick up the last one he did, which was gone right out of my head, from the 80s, which is also Greek mythology. And I'm sure even James will shoot me for this, but I can't remember what it's called. I've just gone right out of my head. So you can forgive me for that one for right now. And I know people will be screaming at me. Also, I went to the cinema the other week. 2 weeks ago, was it now? 2 weeks? It might have been. And went to see Jaws for one night only on the big screen. And wow, that was great to go back to see. I literally had a text from Internet Movie Database saying it was available. Mm-hmm. So I texted the missus and said, do you want to go and see Jaws tonight? She went, really? I went, yes. So, yes, I booked the comfy seats at the front, which go back like reclining chairs. So all that was great, because then all you do is when you recline back, all you can see is the big screen in front of you. Yeah. And it's not like you have to look up because you're in the recliners. And just seeing Jaws, you got the music from John Williams. It's great. The print wasn't bad either, to be honest. But I just loved it. It was really a good throwback to probably what is one of the best summer blockbusters ever made, in my opinion. Mm. So that's about me, really. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Well, I've been more focusing on TV series, to be quite honest. Mm-hmm. So I've binged watched all 4 seasons of Lucifer. Oh. Have you ever watched this?
No, I've seen it on my Amazon Prime.
Right. Well, what I would say is watch it, because it is well worth it. So basically, Lucifer, as in Beelzebub, has come to Earth, but Lucifer has decided he's not going back to hell. He doesn't want to.
Okay.
It's not his thing anymore, yeah? So, he comes back, and if you're the devil, what do you end up running? A nightclub, of course, because of all of the sex and debauchery that goes on in a nightclub. So, he gets involved with that. Then a crime happens, and he ends up working to assist the police to, solve the crime. Yeah. Using his, ungodly powers of persuasion and whatever, to, extract confessions, because Lucifer doesn't lie, and his thing is, the reason why he's ruining hell is because he's out for justice. So people who have done something wrong is that they are, taken to task, and, they have the justice that they deserve. So he brings that sort of approach. And basically there is one person in the world that makes him vulnerable and mortal, and that happens to be the detective he ends up working with.
Oh, okay.
And later on, well, I won't tell you about why, but you do find that out eventually.
Yeah.
But basically what it is like a semi-supernatural, because there's not a lot of supernatural stuff in it, but lots of, talk, because he's always saying, well, I'm the devil, and everybody just takes it that, he's like using it as a metaphor rather than actual reality.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's just, I am evil, I am the devil, and everybody's like laughing and joking and saying, yeah, okay, we get the metaphor, but not getting it. He's being completely serious and he's not lying at all. Mm-hmm. And anyway, he, the story progresses, and then he becomes a consultant working with the police, solving crimes. And, then there's the whole other story about, he has a demon protector who sort of like loses her place because of what Lucifer's doing now.
Yeah.
And about her finding a job that would suit her talents on Earth, so she becomes a bounty hunter. And stuff like that. And, the story just keeps on progressing. And what I would say is Tom Ellis, who plays Lucifer, he is fantastic.
Yeah?
Really good. He's really charming. He's got a really good presence on screen.
Yeah.
I think he does play Lucifer a little bit camp sometimes, which sort of adds to it somehow. I don't know why. But, just sometimes he's just a little bit, it's almost a bit like Lucifer's been watching a Carry On movie. Do you know what I mean? But well worth watching. I think it's a really interesting take on, the fallen angel, as in the devil. And 3 seasons are on Amazon Prime, and then it ended, but Netflix took it over for the 4th season, and there's a new season coming, which will be the last season.
Right.
So, well worth watching, completely, as would say to you, watch it with your wife, she'll enjoy it. My wife enjoyed it, and my wife doesn't enjoy this sort of stuff.
I don't think she was too keen on Good Omens.
No, she hated it.
And, because she does she gets more time than I do sometimes, but I think Jane the Virgin's just about to come to an end. She was telling me tonight. So
yeah, it is. There's one more episode.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? I'm not going to have my weekly, Jane the Virgin.
You won't be able to talk in that Mexican accent.
Yeah, having the voiceover. I'm gonna need a Latino voiceover running somewhere.
It's so funny how that works. I must admit, that does make me chuckle.
That's what I like about it, actually. It just really does not take anything seriously that it's doing.
Yeah.
And it knows it's over the top stupid storylines, and it's just a bit of chillaxing TV.
Okay. Anyway, what else have you been watching?
I've seen Alita, Battle Angel.
How'd you find it?
I actually really quite enjoyed it. So it said centuries in the future, where an abandoned Alita is found in a scrapyard in Iron City by Ido, who's basically a cyber doctor who fixes and awakens, cybernetic organisms or machines. And
is this another version of Johnny Five?
No, because, she's like more human. It's, it's not short circuit sort of thing.
Yeah, that was me just making a joke, but yeah, go on, carry on.
Yeah. But basically she's lost her memory and doesn't recognise the world. Mm-hmm. And as she tries to unpick her past and she sees what's unwrapping around her in the world, she gets more embroiled in this, quite sadistic, sadistic surroundings, basically, where people are being murdered for mechanical parts or for biological parts or whatever. So it's not got the greatest of write-ups on IMDb, and I think it was considered to be a bit of a flop. But it's an enjoyable movie. It's pretty much predictable.
Yeah.
But the other problem with it is it's half a movie. And I'm not saying any more than that, because I want people to go and see it so that they understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So, worth a watch on Blu-ray DVD. I wouldn't have said it'd have been worth going to cinema necessarily to go and see it.
Would be this one for you to own or not?
I do own it. Got it on 4K. Yeah, 4K.
How'd that look, alright?
Fantastic. And, great sounding, mate. I had to do it as well.
I'm sure. Anyway, there's one more you want to talk about. Do I need to put my earplugs in?
No, you don't. No, you're the one who does all of the spoilers and I get the rap for it most of the time.
Yeah, right. Go on, carry on anyway.
I certainly spoil all of the things that I want to talk about. Well, you don't be at boss. Yeah, thanks, Steve. I hadn't mentioned that yet. Dig. Anyway, I've missed talking to you, Steve. Anyway, Spider-Man Far From Home. So I went to see this the other week. Complete change of pace from Endgame. Obviously, this takes place more or less immediately after Endgame. You know, like within days, I would have said, in terms of the storyline. The movie's visually stunning, but it's, you know, it's not as visually stunning as Endgame was, but it's a different sort of movie. You know, it's a single.
I think because Endgame had got so much going on the screen.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot going on the screen with the Mysterio stuff.
But what I mean is with the amount of characters in it, you know, because we're dealing with Spider-Man and a villain or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, when you look at like Chris Hemsworth only had like 16 minutes screen time in that movie. You know, as where he was the focus.
Yeah.
That's how many characters were in there, and it was like a 3-hour movie.
That's why it was a 3-hour movie, to give them all fair share of the pot.
Yeah, exactly. And evidently he's the highest paid Marvel actor as well.
Yeah, I can see that. Funny, just going off a tangent a little bit, I did start to watch Cabin in the Woods last night.
All right, yeah.
But realised, I thought, I need to watch this again, but not now, it was too late. And I forgot Chris Hemsworth was in it. And also the guy that's actually for the missus, he's in Grey's Anatomy, but also he was in, he played one of the lead characters in the Sony game, you know, the Beyond Most Human and all that.
All right, okay, yeah.
Because he was in that as well. So yeah, but anyway, so how did you find Spider-Man? Was it well worth the visit?
Yeah, I mean, the film's got a lot more heart than Endgame has, because a lot of it is about Peter's emotional journey through losing his mentor and what he's been through. You know, because now he's back to school.
That's where Peter normally is.
Yeah, where Peter normally is. And it's the school holidays. And obviously we have had the snap. Well, the opposite of the snap was the big blip where everybody just appeared where they were 5 years later, more or less, but obviously safe. You know, and he's with a lot of people of his own age, but there were also kids who were like, you know, 5 years younger who are now the same age as him.
Right.
So that creates a bit of a dynamic, especially with him with one person who's after MJ, and Peter's after MJ as well. So basically Peter's trying to come to terms with the loss of his mentor, Tony Stark. He finds people turning to him and saying, you know, are you going to be the next Spider-Man? Like, for example, Iron Man, like, for example, Nick Fury, you know, and he's ghosting Nick Fury on the phone and stuff like that, which is quite funny. And, you know, Iron Man's bodyguard, stroke head of security, whatever, is, you know, in the movie as well. He's really quite funny. Happy is there. And I think now, because you got to remember that although this is only the second Spider-Man movie, it's actually the 5th Spider-Man movie.
Well, yeah, because we've had all the other iterations, haven't we, over the...
Well, no, because he was in Civil War, he was in Spider-Man Far From Home, he was in Infinity War, and he was in Endgame.
Yeah, but they're not Spider-Man movies, they're just everyone else's movies. They're not an Iron Man movie, they're not a Thor movie, they're just everyone together. No,
but it's a bit like Ragnarok was like the Hulk movie as well. You know, everybody has a share, but the point is, Spider-Man now, we think he's only been in 2 movies, but he's actually been in 5 MCU movies, which is, you know, quite good. You think about it for such a short amount of time.
I think what's good for Sony is that in 24 days it's taken $1 billion.
Yeah, and it needed to take $1 billion because otherwise Sony were going to take back Spider-Man.
Well, I don't think that would have happened.
I don't know. So Sony owned the rights to it, you know. Marvel sold the rights
I know the person
years
to ask
ago.
Actually, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting one that.
Yeah, but anyway, so I think when you look at Tom Holland now, he's really comfortable in the role. But not only is he really comfortable in the role, you can see he loves it, and you know, and he brings something to Spider-Man that we've not seen since Tobey Maguire. But what he brings is even better than what Tobey Maguire brought. And I know that's only 2 Spider-Mans ago, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So if you're a superhero loving fan, it's a must-watch, I would say. And, you know, well, obviously you've got Nick Fury there. Mysterio is a great character as well. Love the way that they've portrayed him and everything. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that. If you know Spider-Man, you will be confused at understanding that from the trailers that Mysterio's a good guy. Watch the movie. And, you know, it explains it all, is all I'm going to say. But great movie, well worth a watch. So
Surely
that's all I'm gonna say on it, because I don't want to spoil it for people.
Of course not. Okay, we'll move swiftly on to listeners' questions.
John, what's happening to us?
Okay, so we'll start with Mark as usual. It's been a while, but Mark's got a couple of questions for us. And the first one is, what's been your biggest gaming investment so far this year?
My biggest gaming investment so far this year, I would say, would be a G-Sync monitor.
Okay, I haven't got one, I don't think.
Your time playing Destiny.
No, actually, probably not. No, actually, what I will say... No, did I get it this year or last year? When did I get my VR headset from the PlayStation?
That was this year, wasn't it?
Because I got version 2, didn't I? No.
So the end of last... It was certainly in the last 12 months, wasn't it?
So I'm going to say that anyway, that'll do.
Okay.
I could say my next game investment has been Shadowkeep for Destiny, but yeah.
I said he'd say Destiny.
Go on, number 2.
Okay, so is there a feature that you think is missing from the current gen of consoles?
A missing feature? Well, a missing feature from the PlayStation would be able to play Blu-ray DVDs, really.
Yeah.
I think I'd put that in there for me.
If anything, that is the biggest Sony home goal of this generation.
Probably, yeah, I think so.
I don't mean that insultingly. I'm not taking a mick out of it. But it's such a stupid decision in every way not to put that in.
Yeah.
But
what about yourself?
For them, it wouldn't cost them a lot to put it in. What do I think's missing? I think for Xbox, VR. And I think for PlayStation, the lack of ability to see how long you've been playing a game. There we go. That's one for each one of those.
Okay.
And the PC's a master race, so nothing's missing.
Well, PC, they're the ones who always have to upgrade all the time, don't they?
No, I haven't upgraded for a while. Upgraded the screens. That's no different to upgrading a TV.
Yeah, true. Okay.
I'm still using the same processor as I was 3 years ago.
Yeah. How much are gaming laptops these days, anyway?
Depends upon what you want to get. If you want to get something that's, say, an i5 16 gig with a NVIDIA 1050, I would say you'd be looking at anywhere between £600 and £850, unless you've got a deal. And then if you want, but preferably you'd want a 1060 or a 1070, and then they start just going silly prices.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'd say you get a 1070 for about £1,000, a 1060 rather, for about £1,000, and probably about 1,500 for a 1070, or a 2070 now. Sorry, the 20s, I keep forgetting about the latest RTX.
Just a thought. Anyway, okay, moving on.
Why are you thinking of getting one?
No, I just don't think it's going to happen. But I'm just curious what it was. That's all.
You'd be better off getting a desktop anyway, being honest.
Yeah.
And then, you know, get a 2060 graphics card, you know, a G-Sync monitor, 120 frames a second, Destiny. It makes a difference.
Well, I'd have to use a controller still, though.
You can.
Yeah.
And you could import your character, so you've got nothing to moan about.
Anyway.
In the future.
Moving on. Facebook. So.
Yeah.
Mark Tudor says, "Hi guys, good to hear back on the airwaves."
And good to be back.
Yeah, and his question is, which online game has got you hooked away after it got released? I'm on the Call of Duty World War II and loving it after I purchased it day one, but never gave the online part a chance. So what games has got you hooked with the online after it was released? Anything?
The only one that there is that has had me hooked is Destiny 1 and 2.
I have tried some other games as they were released, but nothing's really actually, because it's been like a bolt-on. Even Bioshock tried it, and it didn't work.
No, but I mean, at the beginning of this generation, you were totally on, Titanfall, weren't you?
Yeah, I did. And do you know what? I never actually finished that Titanfall 2.
Have you not?
No, I didn't. I got bored very quickly. I don't know why, but...
I thought that was a good campaign.
I enjoyed the first campaign, but the second one sort of drifted a bit. But it was a good online game, but I don't know, with the way the guns work with Destiny and everything else that it comes out, it's just, the best online we have at the moment. We'll see what happens to Halo when that comes out in a year's time. See if we get to play that. But anything else you can think of other than Destiny? I mean, I did try Tomb Raider, but that failed abysmally as well.
Oh, the Tomb Raider one was god awful.
Just didn't work.
No.
So where they do bolt add-ons, they're never the same. But if it's a game that's built for online, that's something slightly different.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything. I'm not that much of an online player. So I much prefer single-player, story-focused sort of content. Yeah. And if it is online, then it's co-op rather than head-to-head. I prefer.
True.
But the Division.
Yeah. How did you get on with Division 2? Because I don't hear much about that now.
I got so far and then I moved on to other things. Not because I wasn't enjoying it, just because it was a thing of I looked over there, thought, oh, I quite fancy trying that. I forgot to go back. And actually, funnily enough, I was playing the Division 2 yesterday on the PC.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
But not the new DLC episode. Because I haven't got the season pass. I'm going to wait until the season pass is like half what it is now, and then I'll get it.
Yeah.
Because they do sales on season passes, so I don't see the point in spending the full amount of money when it's not a game I'm playing all the time.
Okay. Do you want to go for Jason's question?
Yeah, so Jason Toon has asked, TV shows and movies, do you think it's better for a franchise to wrap itself up whilst it's still entertaining, or to continue until it's ran itself into the ground? As an example, he's saying Supernatural was originally meant to be to end with season 5, but due to popularity, with its fans, it limped and continually jumped the shark up to season 15. That's a heck of a lot of jumping.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see a show go out in style.
Yeah.
And a few that come to mind. So with Big Bang Theory, they thought how the show should end, and they maybe could have carried on with it. But the way maybe Friends did, but they just you got to be on top all the time, and it's hard for the script writers to keep that going. So when it's best to go, I think it's best to go. The same. Well, then it's for some programs like Fringe, for example, that had a finish and a complete end to it, and that worked well in all the seasons that had. And then one that may have been disappointing really was Heroes, because that started to peter out at the end. Yeah,
the last season was pretty.
It's a shame because it's a great show.
Yeah,
but I'd just say if anyone hasn't seen Fringe, I thoroughly recommend that.
But I mean, when you look at, this is a question I think that is a bit of an immortal one now in TV sort of land, because you cast your mind back to the original Star Trek series. It was canned after season 2, and season 2 was a good season.
Yeah.
And then because of the writing thing, they got that extra season in there, which is fine. But a lot of those episodes were awful. Like, for example, Spock's brain.
Yeah,
that wasn't a good one.
Oh, no, they did peter out there. There was that letter campaign which kept it on the air. But like most things, some of the writers dried up a bit on that, I think. And with what was going on in the background, possibly between all their egos, which did happen, it's sometimes things come to a close. I mean, that was only 3 seasons, and you get some shows now on 10 to 12 seasons.
Yeah, but even in a trash season, and I'm just using the original series as an example, there are some gems. You know, like there was the Enterprise incident, this side of Paradise, the Paradise Syndrome, and one of the episodes I love the title of, For the World is Hollow and I Have Touched the Sky.
Yeah.
I love that episode.
When, if I remember rightly, McCoy thought he had sort of
He had a fatal disease.
Yeah, that's it.
And, you know, even the last one, The Turnabout Intruder, that was a good one. The Lights of Zeta. The Mark of Gideon. Now, that was a really clever episode, was that one? So there's some great episodes in there, but it's when you get overrun with all of the dross. Like, you know, The Way to Eden, where it's basically hippies in space. Remember that one where they play music?
And you had the Apple as well. And these episodes that you get good and bad, but then these days, I think you wouldn't get away with that these days. I mean, I don't know why. I don't really know the reason why Arrow's finishing, to be honest.
No.
Has there been a reason for that, or is it because they're bringing in the Batgirl series instead?
Maybe, but isn't this going to be the last season of Supergirl as well?
No, I've not heard that as confirmed.
I'd heard that was going to be the case
because there's some weird stuff going to be going on in the Arrowverse.
Yeah,
especially with Superman.
Yeah,
because Brandon Roth's coming back, isn't he?
Yeah, how's that going to work when he's actually one of the Legends of Tomorrow?
I know. I'm sure it'll be easily worked out. But
I'm sure it will be. Yeah, but yeah, I think in terms of going back to the question, I think it is always better that a program ends on a high because you always have that fonder memory, and it also maybe gives a higher chance of that series coming back as a special.
Well, what did you think of the way that Next Generation finished with All Good Things?
It was a good episode, but I think that season 7 wasn't one of the stronger ones. It certainly wasn't as bad as season 2. I think the worst 2 seasons of the Next Generation was season 1 and 2.
It took its way to find its feet, though, didn't it, to be honest?
Yeah.
It took longer than most. I think some shows could have got canned at the same time.
I think nowadays, if you'd have had the Next Generation launch as it was, more or less, but, you know, modified, but the quality of the stories and everything there, I don't think we'd have ever got to season 2. Because, to be honest, season 1 and 2 were ropey. There's a couple of good episodes, and the last episode of season 2 was god-awful. That one where it was just clips of all of the other ones with Riker being infected by a plant. If you remember that one. Can't remember what it was called.
Was that the one where, yeah, I mean, there was one where he was loopy, wasn't he? Which was a bit of a...
That was a different one. The one where he was loopy, that was a good episode.
That wasn't snooker loopy, but yeah, he was loopy.
Yeah. Loopy is in a technical term for mentally insane.
Yeah, if I remember rightly. It just comes to mind, that does.
That was a good episode. But there was one where it was still Dr. Polanski, and he'd been on a planet and stepped in something or whatever, and he might die, and they went over the last 2 years of the Next Generation and just did different clips. That was an awful episode. It really was.
I wasn't too keen on Polanski, to be honest. I mean, she wasn't my favourite.
No, I didn't like her either. Interestingly enough, she was on the original series. Did you know that? Yeah,
I can't think what she played off the top of my head, but yeah.
She was on the episode. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It wasn't Wink of an Eye. It was Is There in Truth No Beauty? And she played the human ambassador who was blind and wore a sensor net as a dress.
I'm trying to think who else she played. I'm sure she played someone else. What was her real name?
I can't remember what the actress's real name was.
Never mind. I'll have a look later. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's definitely better if they leave you wanting more.
Okay, moving on then. So Paul Wilson's got a Switch question, which is probably more up your alley. The new Switch Lite, do you think the system might have 2 different power modes? When running just on the battery or a low power mode, but if running the system while plugged into a power source, a high power mode for better performance?
Unless you're talking about the backlit light, no, because no. You can't. I can't see how they can do that because the programs will require fixed clock rates in order to be able to, move whatever polygons around the screen or whatever. So I can't see how it's going to have a better performance on power mode other than for passive stuff like lighting.
Yeah.
As in backlighting the screen, much like your laptop or your phone would have.
Yeah, that does make a difference.
Yeah, but I don't think that, there is no advantage, especially when you've got the full Switch there, which doesn't have as far as I'm aware, a low and high powered mode for performance, of giving that to the Switch Lite, because what's it going to do with the extra power? None of the games would support it.
Yeah.
It'd be pointless.
Okay.
But that's my thoughts. Whether or not right or not, doesn't matter. But
we'll see when it all comes out.
We will. But I have got a 1-for-1 prediction rate for this Nintendo.
Yeah. Okay.
Just saying,
Yeah, no. That's fine by me. Yeah. Don't do me. Nicky Wilson then.
Nicky Wilson. So, he's saying, I'm about to start playing and streaming Dino Crisis for the first time on, and I think he wants us to do a plug, so for Nicky Fights on Twitch. I always wanted to play it back in the day, but never had the money to buy it as a kid. Are there any games you've wanted to play, but have never got the chance to play?
I did play Dino Crisis when it came out, actually.
Yeah, so did I.
Any games I never got around to playing. Because I'm such an old git, I've probably played most of that I wanted to play, to be honest. Actually, no. Because I came away from the PlayStation for a while, because I had my 360. I was glad to get to play the Uncharted games, because I never got a chance at first until I picked up the PlayStation Pro.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, I did enjoy playing them. And also Last of Us as well, which is a fantastic game as well. That's some of the best games that came out on the PlayStation, to be honest.
So basically the PlayStation exclusives that you never had a chance to play before.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good call.
What about you?
I hate to say it, but I probably had access to all of the games that I've wanted to play.
Well, yeah, because you've had a few different platforms on the go, so...
Yeah, you always have a few different platforms on the go, and it's just... That's just it for me. The games that I've missed are games I've not wanted to play. That, being honest.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was just reading Lee's next questions. I was laughing, sorry.
All right, okay.
So, I'll go to Lee's question. Welcome back, lads. As we're in a summer game lull, what older games do you always go back to play when there's not much new content about? Can I just say this? He has actually put, apart from Destiny 2. I know, that's why I was laughing earlier. Well done, Lee. See, when you go, you never go back. I'm sorry. Actually, what's worse is you're a warlock on Destiny. That's the even worse bit. No, I'm a rock. I'm a rock. And anyway, warlocks can't jump. I can now. It's heard it now. Flat around like a bee. I'm Muhammad Ali. Float around like a bee and fall like a lead balloon. Yeah. God. Actually, I didn't do it this time. I should have done, but I think I can still get it cheap. We had the Amazon Prime of late, didn't we, come out with their deals? Yeah. And they had the Crash Team Racing for the PlayStation and Xbox One. Mm-hmm. That was down to $19.99 during that time. That's not bad. So I always felt I nearly pulled the trigger, but I didn't in the end. So there was something I was going to go and play. Yeah. But what do you go back to other than Destiny? I don't. No, I didn't think you did. It's really weird, isn't it? But that's your thing. The thing is, the way Destiny works now, and some people probably don't get this. If they don't. Because the content rolls each month with seasons, there's always something new to grind for. Mm. Or sometimes it's an old gun to grind for, like Thorn. But there's always some fun to be had, and then they have some new like the Season of Opulence with how that worked, and going for that. I can't think what that gun was off the top of my head 'cause I can't think right now, but it is always something to go to and play. And as even some other guys that now play it the same way I do, they always took the mick out of me, but he said, I get it. Do you know what I mean? And it's just the way it is, really. There are games I want to play, want to come out. There's a couple of games, I think one's from Bethesda, from Ember Riley.
What, Fallout 86?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's Fallout. It's something very similar to Fallout. It's made by the guys that did Fallout New Vegas.
Right.
I'm looking forward to that, for example. You know, so there are games that I want to see and get to play, and they're all going to be on Game Pass, luckily. We'll have a little dig at Gears 5, won't we? And then we'll drop straight out again, maybe, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, Gears 5 falls within two camps. You either play it for the story, or you play it for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And it ain't the multiplayer I play that game for.
No. I have played some back in the day, but it's not... It's an old cover system now. It doesn't work as well as a game like Destiny does, so...
No.
Maybe they might. I don't think they'll change it. I think it'll still be like that anyway. So... Anything else you want to say about that before we wrap up? Because I'm starting to sweat like you won't believe in this room.
Well, I haven't actually said what games I'd go back to.
Okay, but what games would you like to go back to then, Hayden?
Well, the games that I do go back to, the Assassin's Creed ones.
Actually, there's one I'm surprised you haven't gone back to.
Elite.
Yes.
I do. That's one of my other sort of like staple kind of games, is that I will go back to play Elite Dangerous. Although I haven't recently, because I've just been...
That's what I mean. I don't think, because there's been quite a few updates that late, hasn't there?
Yeah, and I haven't looked at them as of yet either, although they are on my radar to look at.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got the time to play all the games, then go for it and have a look at it, you know?
I mean, and not only that, but Elite Dangerous in VR, my God, that's a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I did witness that on Oculus, and it is incredible.
Yeah, it is. Also helps if you're a poor docker. You can, like, get a bit of a better view.
Oh, okay. I thought you were taking the mick out of me then for a minute.
No, you do. You get that bit more, depth perception with it.
Yeah.
Is what I mean.
Oh, okay.
But, no, I know you will use AutoDock anyway.
It's great. So I like to sit there and listen to the 2001's Blue Danube and just revel in it, really.
Yeah.
If I've jumped back on that game now, I wouldn't know my arse from my elbow, to be honest.
No, you probably wouldn't. But then again, that's no different than starting it in the first place, because it's a game where you're not so much as thrown in the deep end, but thrown in the deep end at the bottom. And then you've got to, swim or die in it, basically.
Oh, God, yeah.
And that's it. But, yeah.
Anyhow, we all done? Because
I think so.
I can hear a cornetto calling me at the moment.
Just one?
I have got three. Actually, there's two for me in the fridge.
Yeah.
Freezer.
It's never just two cornetto. It's just one cornetto.
Can I ask this question, right? When you go into like these shops like the Co-op and Tesco's and that,
yeah,
and you like buy a box of Magnums,
yeah,
why is there always 3 and not 4?
That's because they always used to be 4, but now what they found is they can charge the same amount for 3 as they can for 4, and people are still stupid enough to buy them.
Because they end up buying 2 packs to get 6.
Exactly. And then think, well, I might as well eat 2 rather than 1.
I hate it because they try to wrap it around your finger, but I don't know. I bought some ice lollies from the Co-op next around the corner here from me, and they were the Solero type with the ice cream in the middle.
Uh-huh.
They weren't bad actually. They were cheap ones, but I just get annoyed because the AAA of gaming when in ice cream like Magnums sort of just get you by the ghoulies, really, don't they?
Yeah.
Might they'd be pretty cold and shriveled up by then, but anyway, you know what I mean.
That might be more information than we wanted to know, Steve.
Anyway, should we do our outros and get out of here, as you say?
Yeah.
So, Twitter @Steve007, PSN ID is the real Steve007, Xbox Steve007, and don't email me, just hit me up on Twitter @Steve007 because I'll answer anything you want to know about and play with.
Okay.
Yourself? Oh, can I just say that? Yeah, I do have my YouTube channel. It's more for fun, not for subscribers. But if you like a bit of soundtracks, there's I think over 30 albums I've got on there at the minute, so there's quite a few to look at. And I've just put up there Mission Impossible Fallout as my latest one. So,
just as a question, how do you get past the copyright filters with that then?
Don't ask me.
Is it because you're just doing it as a short thing, or?
Well, no, my Mission Impossible was a 20-minute track. I edited about 5 tracks together or so.
Mm.
But I know what you're saying, but I think it's because I'm not being paid for doing this, probably.
I've had stuff that I'm not being paid for, and I've had copyright strikes because of it.
I've had no emails from them. They keep giving me nice little emails saying you're doing all right.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because it's not full albums, maybe. Because some people do the full album and they rip it, don't they?
Yeah, that's true.
But it's all I do it more for fun because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
You know, if anyone wants to subscribe, go ahead and do it. I've only got, 22? But it is what it is. Mm. You know, but I've got a couple of people on there that always enjoy the music and glad to see it, and then we have a chat about it. So it's a hobby and just enjoy it, really.
Mm.
Anyway, Hayden.
Okay, so for me, everything's HERJ UK, whether or not that's Twitter, PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, Origin, whatever, Great Old Games. It's all exactly the same. So you can find me there. You can also find me just doing that on YouTube as well. You'll come across me. For the show, we have our Facebook group for Pop Culture Gamers. Just do a search for that. If you've got a query that you want to get in contact with either Steve or myself or just a show in general, you can email podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk. And don't forget, we have our website, popculturegamers.podbean.com. If you want to try and support the show, we've also got a Patreon. Not that anybody's ever actually subscribed to that.
No, they haven't, have they?
No, but if you do want to support the show and you don't want it to cost you any money and you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, just head on over to my Twitch channel and just subscribe to that for the free monthly subscription that you get. That'll help to pay towards a show. A number of you have already done that, and for those of you who have, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
My pleasure.
I'm hoping... Well, yes, thank you, Steve. You haven't subscribed for a second month, though.
Haven't I? Oh, I've got to do that in a minute then.
Yeah. But obviously it does help pay for the subs for the show, or at least it will do when I start to generate enough money to be able to get a check out of them. So that's that. And that's it. So also don't forget, you can also listen to the show on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, and you can also use our Amazon Echo app. Just add the skill of Pop Culture Gamers.
Cool. So all the last thing to do is to say it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
Good night.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.